Happy Leif Erikson Day.
Welcome to another video. Today we are testing out, is number 89 Diabolus the Mind Hacker worthy of being banned? Now, this card just got banned in TCG because it is too strong with the Kashtiras, but this card's already in the game. Is this card worthy of a ban right now? Well, let's find out. Alright, I'm playing a Mermail deck focused on getting out rank 7 XZ monsters. Let's see if it's worth making, and let's see if it has a big impact. Let's go. We're going to start with the Deep Sea Diva. Diva, get the Prince. We're going to send a Dragoons, get a Poseidon to hand. Dragoons is going to search for the Deep Sea Minstrel. Now this hand's stacked, so we're going to take a peek at our opponent's hand, make sure they can't interrupt us before we start doing our plays. Alright, let's take a look. Opponent has a very wacky hand with Vernisylphs. Vernisylph, very powerful Earth deck. We're going to take away Call the Haunted because we're going to make them discard random cards, alright? They don't have any hand traps. We're going to make them discard at random. Let's get rid of the card that's the lowest impact. We're going to make them not discard that. That stays banished till the end of turn. Alright, search for the Abyss Megalo. We're going to Synchro Summon with Tatsunoko. This is just to get some protection, alright? And get 5 water monsters in graveyard. Now we got the Moon Glacia. Make them discard 2 at random. Opponent. Dump in the Vernisylph monster and the trap. Alright. Now we're going to Abyss Teus. Teus search. Dragoon search. This hand is completely stacked. Alright, we're lucky opponent didn't have Max C. Otherwise we'd be crying right now. Let's get the Abyss Gund. Dragoon search for a random monster for follow-up. Let's synchro into the Baron. Just get some protection. Let's activate our Megalo, discarding that Mermail and the Poseidra. That's going to trigger resummon a Mermail from the graveyard. Let's go into the Mind Hacker and let's activate the Mind Hacker. Alright, we get to look at our opponent's extra deck, banish a card from it face down. This is why it is so powerful. You steal your opponent's extra deck monster. If we're playing against Tearlaments, you take away their Kikkalos. They are not going to be able to do their fusion summons unless they unbanish it. We're not going to talk about that. And then this card is going to randomly banish cards from our opponent's deck, sort of like Runics, except they're banished face down. So opponent not going to be able to trigger any banishing effects. So very powerful effect, you know, messing with your opponent's extra. But let's look at our opponent's extra deck. Okay, so opponent doesn't actually have any monsters that are really powerful, but we're going to banish one of them anyway. Alright, now you saw that real quickly. We banished there also the Earth Charmer. Opponent just had, you know, a big extra deck with stuff it doesn't look like they're even using. So Mind Hacker, no impact here. Let's mill one of their cards from their deck and pass back to the opponent. We got Negate. We got Moon Glacia. If this card is destroyed by battle, we can target a card in their graveyard and banish it face down. That's really not a huge impact of an effect. So Diabolus Mind Hacker not really doing much right now. Maybe the Mind Hacker isn't ready. Maybe this is before his time. Alright, maybe he's not worthy of a ban. Let's pop their back row, get that Call the Haunted. Opponent knows they got nothing. We're gonna get easy lethal and they are out of here. Let's go on to the next game. If you like this sort of video, make sure to subscribe. I'll have more quality content in the future. We're going first. We are going first. We're gonna get the Prince. Alright, now if we have the ability to go into the rank 7 play, we're gonna do it. And if we can't do the rank 7 play, we're going to have to do something else. Now, Prince on his own, difficult to get 2 level 7s. So we're going to go for the Megalo. If we were going second, you could use Megalo to tribute Prince to get back Poseidra from the graveyard. Since he is an Atlantean, that lets you go into a rank 7. But don't have a battle phase during turn 1, so you can't activate the effect of Megalo to tribute. Let's activate the Lapis Dragon we searched for. Synchro Summon into Arion Post, very powerful level 6. Probably the most powerful generic level 6, especially in a water deck. Banish Shift from the deck so we can come back to Goaty plays. Moon Glacia, going to blind discard 2 cards from our opponent's hand. Opponent's got a Salvation and a Call by the Grave. We're playing against Dark Magicians. Alright, now fun fact, Moon Glacia level 8. That means when our Goaty comes back, we have the option of going into a Deep Beyond right away, but opponent hitting us with Super Poly. Does opponent know what the best hits are with that Super Poly? Now we actually do have a level 9 fish we could go into, but if opponent knows Goaties, they're going to hit our 6 and 8. I think they really should have just waited though. Just waited and take our Tuna away. That would have been better. Opponent stealing our even leveled monsters. leaving us with the fish, going for the Moo Dragon. If we get desperate, we can Synchro Summon, alright? Synchro Summon into the Ravenous Croco Dragon, discard our entire hand to pop a card on field if we get desperate, alright? We also got Max C, but opponent doesn't seem like the type to special summon too much. Again, we couldn't respond to the Super Poly, so no drawing off that Moo Dragon. Opponent getting an Eternal Soul, and they don't have a Dark Magician in the graveyard, so Maxi not doing anything. No need to do our Panic Synchro play. Let's keep our monsters on field, save them for later. Let's draw. Drawing into the Deep Sea Minstrel. Alright, now here's a line. We tribute our Shift to attack twice, do the battle phase, deal some damage to the opponent, and then Synchro Summon into a 10. We can make a Baran, we can make a Big Chungus. All very good options. But I did forget something. Very easy to forget when you're playing in paper, so keep your opponent honest. We don't have the battle phase, and when you go to the battle phase in Yu-Gi-Oh, and you skip it, you don't get your second main. So we accidentally skipped our rest of our turn. We didn't get to Synchro Summon, so this was a bit of a mistake. This is in fact a very huge mistake, and we're in big trouble now. Opponent, don't punish us with the Dark Magicians. Oh no, opponent, activating Magician Souls. Now we're gonna slam the Maxi out there in case they choose to summon the Magician Souls. But the other mode is summon a Dark Magician from the graveyard. So we're gonna have to deal with that too. Let's banish that Dark Magician. Get him out of here. We gotta stay safe. Don't want any Dark Magicians getting summoned. Alright? Remember that. Stay safe. Stay safe from Dark Magicians. I just had to prove this deck isn't Dark Magician tier as well. I know people like to roast me. Opponent hitting our tuner. Tunas are gone. Alright, we just have the Abyss Megalo. We gotta worry, because if opponent ever gets a Dark Magician, we're gonna be in big trouble. Now, we got the greedy, again, we got the greedy line and we got the safe line. Alright, the greedy line is to pop their Dark Magical Circle and attack twice, deal some damage. The probably safer line is to just attack the Moo Dragon and then link 2 into Abyss Lacia. That way if opponent pops our monster, we get a search, we get to summon something from the graveyard. That is a safer play. You know, probably, but let's just pop this circle. Alright, let's get in for big damage. Pop the circle. Get popped. I guess one risk of leaving the circle is if opponent banishes our Abyss Lacia, it doesn't trigger, so there's a risk. Down to the Abyss Megalo opponent. You got 2 cards. We know one of them, it's the Trap. The other card is a Druid Swarm. Opponent playing Bestials. Oh no, we're in big trouble. Bestial is too big. Bigger than the Megalo. And I'm not playing those spells to boost their attack points. We got a top deck here, alright? Believe in the heart of cards, never give up. We're down to nothing, but we don't give up. Draw. Synchro, overtake. Alright, let's go. Synchro, get the Deep Sea Diva. This is all we need. We know opponent has nothing in hand. Deep Sea Diva. Get the Gurnards, and hold on, you're thinking, hey, why didn't you go Prince? Wombo combo with the Prince. You gotta be extra careful here. We only have 1 heavy infantry. Stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you the deck list. 1 heavy infantry. We got 3 Dragoons, sorry, in the deck, and we have 1 Poseidra. And you cannot activate Prince unless there are 2 search targets, alright? And we only have 1 Dragoons left in the deck list right now, so only 1 Dragoons in the deck means Prince not activatable. So we would look like a fool with our Prince not activatable, so instead we got this one, copy a Gurnards, alright? Gurnards. Adjust the level. Go to level 8, well, level 8 combined with a Deep Sea Diva to make the Azcan, and we still got our Shift in the graveyard. Where's Shift? We got the Shift in the graveyard, so Azcan banish the Druid Swarm, banish the Shift, Azcan come back. We're going to get the Shift back on our opponent's turn, and that means we can go into Deep Beyond on our opponent's turn. If they do anything, we banish the entire field, and that is our line. Let's banish the Druid Swarm, banish the Shift. Opponent, you got 1 draw. 1 draw to come out of this. Opponent, what have you got? Shift come back. Opponent, Soul Servant, gonna draw. Put a card on top of the deck. And they need a Dark Magician to draw a card. They cannot draw because they don't have any Dark Magicians in the graveyard. Opponent forced to end the turn. We're not even gonna go into the Deep Beyond because his attack isn't that big right now. Let's get in for lethal with the Azcan. And opponent is out of here. Love to see it. Now, we didn't make the Mind Hacker, but we did beat our opponent. And we proved we're not Dark Magician tier, despite misplays. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, we got a hand here. We got Max C, we got the Megalo, we got the Teus. Opponent is playing branded Despia with the the branded Bestials. So we got Aluber. And why didn't I hit Aluber with the Maxi? Is it probably the correct thing to do? Well, if you hit the Aluber with the Maxi, then off the branded opening, then they can choose to just add it to hand and normal summon it. So it doesn't really draw them a card, and they could choose not to activate their fusion spell, maybe not give us some cards. So, you know, it is a risk. I usually just wait till you're guaranteed to draw one with the Maxi. So opponent going to activate that branded fusion, and now we hit him with the Maxi, get the maximum number of draws, which will be 2 probably. Opponent summoning, sending a Magnemite, making the Alubellion, giving us a draw. Deep Sea Diva, discarding Kitchen Dragon Maid. Opponent playing Dragon Maid, Dragon Maid Mirror Jades. Opponent getting a Tidying. Tidying gonna be able to bounce a card, a monster. All right, we drew 2. We got pot agreed with that Maxi. All right, let's draw. Get another Deep Sea Diva. Now this hand has a lot of plays. We can make the Mind Hacker, but because we're going second, opponent already has their Mirror Jade, so that's not going to really impact them too much. So really no point going to the Mind Hacker. Let's start with Deep Sea Diva plays, see what opponent's going to do. Now our real plan here is to get the Mirror Jade to use its ability, clear out this Tidying, and then hopefully go into a Big Chungus. Big Chungus will be able to destroy or banish that Mirror Jade. Hopefully they can't summon another one, and you know, Big Chungus will be difficult for them to get rid of. Mirror Jade is annoying. Destroy every monster you control at the end of the turn when it was destroyed. We gotta play through that, so we gotta be ready. Opponent getting a Magnemite. We're gonna Prince. Magnemite is gonna search the Dragon at end of turn. Opponent not using their interaction yet. Let's activate Teos. Discard the Heavy, and we could force the pop of the Mirror Jade right now. That would probably be sensible. Or we could pop the Branded Regained, or we could pop one of their monsters. I'm going to choose to pop this because it's going to be a recurring source of value for them. And opponent going with the Mirror Jade right now. What are they going to pop? If they pop the Diva, we're going to be in big trouble. We don't really have another way to Synchro Summon. Opponent. Okay, luckily hitting the Teos. All right, that is great news for us. We get the Bisgund. Now, we have one more piece of interaction on their board there. We know about it. It is the Tidying. Tidying is going to bounce a dragon and return a monster to our hand. So we got to play through the Tidying. Let's summon the Megalo. The Gund is going to activate in the graveyard to summon the other Megalo. Opponent not even going to wait. Tidying. Bouncing a card back to our hand. Bouncing. I didn't even realize, no, Tidying can bounce a monster in the graveyard. Yeah, they control or in the graveyard. So it actually bounced the target from our Gund. So we didn't get the second Megalo. Very interesting. All right. Now, we're going to activate the second Megalo. Discard. Get the search. And let's look at our graveyard here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water monsters. That means we can search for the level 8 Moulin Glacia. Make them discard too, but I missed that, I guess. I guess I missed that. I went for the Minstrel. I should have gone for Moulin Glacia. What was I doing? What was I thinking? I guess I was thinking we're going to get wiped at the end of turn, so why spend more bodies? But we could have made our opponent discard a card. That would have been some value. Alright, let's Synchro Summon. Make the Big Chungus. Get in for big damage. Moulin Glacia could have cleared this Magma too. We could have got in for damage actually. Yeah, that was a bit of a miss. Alright, let's Synchro, or Link Summon, sorry, into the Abyss Glacia. We're ready for our opponent's end of turn wipe. Branded Fusion getting sent to the field. Opponent, why did you do that? You could have added it to hand. That's got to be a mistake. I'm pretty sure. You can yeah, during the end phase you can add add to your hand or set a branded spell. They could have just added this to hand. Now it's vulnerable. Big Chungus gets triggered, protects himself by banishing a card, triggers himself. Let's summon, or we're gonna banish first. Let's banish this Branded Fusion. Oh, just kidding. What am I even saying? We're going to play around this. We're going to banish the Magnemite and special summon the Barrier Statue. If opponent doesn't have a monster to summon, then they won't be able to clear this Barrier Statue. They won't be able to Branded Fusion. Unfortunately, opponent added an Albaz, so that was probably the wrong line, right? I should have hit the Branded Fusion. Big misplay, but, we're learning. All right, we're learning. Opponent can't activate the Albaz. Gets in, clears the Barrier Statue. We're in trouble, because now they can Brand a Fusion, but opponent foolishly activates in the graveyard, triggering the Chungus with their Dragon Maid tidying, banishing itself. So now we get to banish. Looks like we're misplaying into misplay. We're going to banish that Brand of Fusion. And opponent doesn't have a way to clear the big Chungus. Let's banish. Banish a card from graveyard. Opponent. Adding another tidying. Going to main phase 2. Oh no. Opponent has an out. Verte. Verte gonna target our Sword Soul, make him a dark, and Super Poly, making the Starving Venom. That is not very good for us. Not a fan, not a fan. Alright, opponent's tidying. Sends their Dragon Maid back to hand. Let's draw Deep Sea Minstrel. Alright. Would have been nice if we'd made our opponent discard a card. And it wouldn't have had that Dragon Maid. Let's Deep Sea Diva. Deep Sea Diva. Get the Prince. Opponent not activating the tidying. Giving us another chance. Send Dragoons at Poseidra. Trigger the Dragoons. Get the Megalo. Activate the Megalo. Summon the Megalo. And now we have opponent still not activating. We're going to Synchro Summon into the Baron de Fleur. Baron Negate is live. Opponent tidying. Alright, tidying. Going to target. We're going to negate with Baron. And here's another fun fact. Alright, I didn't know this card has another effect. It has a lot of words on it. I thought it just does the boost, but we're gonna pop it, and its effect is gonna activate. It has an effect if it's popped. You can destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters, so we lose the Baron. Alright. Again, big mistake. I could have just left it on the field. That probably would have been better. You know, that would have been better. They wouldn't be able to clear the Baron. We could have used it to summon back something from the graveyard. We could have got Bislacia. You know, a bit of a misplay. Alright, opponent, just don't top deck anything. Opponent gets back their Jester as well. Not ideal. Jester doesn't get to search though, because only one effect activation per turn. Opponent, just don't do any good plays. Opponent tidying. Okay, tidying, get back the Dragon Maid, and that's going to get him the Dragon Maid changeover. That's going to let him Fusion Summon, make an Omni Negate. We only get one top deck before we're dead meat. That is game. Opponent got us. Looks like we got. Alright, maybe one too many misplays. And we didn't get to banish a card because our rank 7 XZ isn't really good going second. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, on to the next game. We got a lot of good interruption. Let's start by activating Synchro Overtake, bait out an Ash Blossom. Opponent, not going for it. So we have the option of summoning our Diva straight to the field or adding it to hand and normal summoning. Let's just summon it to the field. We got the Prince already. Let's combo manually. Manual mode combo. Don't even need to use Diva's effect. Let's take a peek with the Minstrel. See what our opponent's working with. Opponent playing Branded. Alright, now it's our turn to go first. Alright, Branded. Our turn. Let's take away one of these Branded and Reds. Activate the effect of our Dragoons. Get the Moon Glacia. Let's not forget this time to make our opponent discard. Tatsunoko puts 5 in the graveyard. Make him discard 2. They lose the Brand of Fusion and the Retribution. Oh, they're going to activate that Retribution, though. Returning the Brand of Fusion to hand. Alright, lucky opponent. Maybe we should have banished that Retribution. Opponent gets back the Branded in red as well. At the end of turn. And why didn't I use Tatsunoko? Well, alright, this was fixed, alright, in a fusion version of the deck. I put in the rank or level 11 Synchro Psychic and Punisher, but in this version of the deck, there's no level 11, so we don't have a play right now with our Tatsunoko. A bit awkward, but you know what? Max C, Ash Blossom will carry us, alright? That's what I believe. Opponent drew King of the Swamp. That was the one card we didn't know about to get a Polymerization. Opponent Fright for Patchwork. We're not falling for the bait, alright? This is Ash bait. We're letting it go. Let it go. Opponent adding a Poly and another monster to hand. Activating Brand of Fusion. Let's hit him with that Ash Blossom. Negate with the Ash, and opponent demoralized completely with their Brand of Fusion negated by Ash Blossom. They are out of here. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, we got one final game here. My Hacker has not proven super useful so far, but let's try it one more time. Prince, summon, opponent hitting us with the Max C. Now, we have a Max C as well, but I would rather not let my opponent draw cards and not get to use our Max C than let our opponent draw cards and draw cards on their turn. Let's hit him with a Call By. Call By, negate the Maxi. We got to remember it is negated on their turn as well. Let's activate Prince. Prince send to Dragoons. Opponent hitting our Prince with the Ash Blossom. Alright, if you're playing against Mermails, nobody knows how to play against them now. Deck's too old, it's forgotten. But when your opponent, if you're playing, you got Ash Blossom, just Ash the Dragoons effect in the graveyard. Don't ash the Prince. Prince send is a cost. Doesn't really care if it gets negated. Dragoon's gonna activate. Get the Lapis Dragon. And now we got a very strong play to go into. Level 6 Synchro did not used to be great. We used to make a penguin, we summon a flip effect penguin. That's not ideal. Now, we get a Synchro summon into a Goaty, make the Ariampos, banish a Tuna, and now we can Synchro summon, banish a card on our opponent's turn. Not bad. Could have just summoned Barrier Statue Pass, but that's no fun. Opponent playing Runics. Activating Max C, normally very good against Goaties, but opponent, I don't know if you remember this, but last turn we fingered you with the Call by the Grave, touching that Max C, and Call by the Grave doesn't negate for 1 turn, it negates for 2 turns. So Max C still negated, so you can activate your Max C, but it's gonna get all fuzzy and not do anything. Opponent playing Runics as well. Missed that first Runic tip activation. They're summoning or activating Smiting Storm. Doing this all in the standby phase before we have our shift and before we can activate. So if opponent is playing smart, they can just pop our Ariampos with a Runic card, and we won't get to activate our Synchro Summoning. But by doing this, opponent is giving up the option of drawing with the Runic spells if this is not a Runic spell as well. We'll just see. Opponent's Maxi negated. Opponent adding the Flashing Fire. Summoning the Huggin. Alright, Huggin gonna let him discard a card to search. And they did have another Runic card, but realizing with the Fountain, they have Fountain in 1 Runic spell, and they had to leave our Ariampos. If they want to draw with the Fountain, they gotta activate the Fountain in the main phase first, and that's gonna leave them vulnerable to the fishes. Opponent activating the Fountain, and now we can Synchro Summon. If opponent wants to stop the Synchro Summon to banish, they gotta activate the Flashing Fire right now. And if they activate it right now, sure, they stop our Synchro Summon, they stop our banish, but isn't it already too late? They won't get to draw with the Fountain. Opponent's going for it. Missing the draw. This is not activated yet. It is still resolving, meaning they don't get the draw. They pop their monster, but they skip their battle phase. They have no plays, and we get plays on our turn. We got another Prince. Opponent has no cards in hand. They have no interaction. Let's top deck. Top deck the Dragoons. Very good top deck here. We have a level 2 Synchro on the field, or a level 2 Tuner on the field. That's our Proxy Deep Sea Diva. Let's send Dragoons. Add the Heavy Infantry. Search for the Megalo. Activate. And we don't have the opportunity of making a level 7 right now. Or actually, I say that. We actually could make a level 7. We can use these 2 boys on field to Synchro Summon into the Tatsunoko. Use Tatsunoko to make a Deep Sea Prima Donna. Give opponent back their Maxi, which may be a bad idea. We can give him back the Maxi, and then summon a monster from our deck directly, and then Synchro into the Mind Hacker. But is that really the best play right now? I don't think so. I think we can do better. Let's pop the field spell. Force opponent to activate their Huggin. Huggin gonna activate, banish itself. Now we could have just popped the Huggin, but by doing this, the Huggin doesn't get shuffled back in the extra deck. Let's Synchro Summon Tatsunoko. Tatsunoko, use the Megalo in hand to Synchro Summon Baron the Fleur. Baron, pop the field spell. We got a negate. We got an attack. We got another attack. Opponent, you're down to 2,600 life. Your 1 card is going to get negated by Baron. They're setting it. Okay, there's things it could be. It could be something we can't respond to with Baron. Opponent, let's pop that back row. It's a Call by the Grave. That's not going to do it. Not going to cut it. Opponent, that is game. Mermails, going with the Mind Hacker Mermails. Win again. Alright, let's go on to the deck list. Alright, here is Mind Hacker Mermails. Now, you watched the video. Mind Hacker did not do a lot of work right now. I think Mind Hacker not worthy of a ban yet. Maybe once the Kashtira cards come out that synergize with all this banishing, it'll be worthy of a ban. But right now, I think this card's pretty safe, pretty difficult to use, not necessarily great against the meta. Maybe there's another shell that it's better in that makes rank 7s more easily. So maybe we can try that out later. Make some rank 7s, go first, banish some, tier elements from the extra deck. But for now, I think a bit of a weak play. We had the Abyss Joust in here as an alternative as well, but didn't really end up making him either. I kind of hope Konami comes back, revisits the Mermails at some point. All right, triple Prince. We got triple Deep Sea Diva. We got triple Maxi. We got single Heavy Infantry. We got one Shift. We got the Abyss Gun to help us make level 7 or rank 7 exceed plays. We got triple Ash Blossom, 2 Deep Sea Minstrels. We got 1 Gurnards. We got Barrier Statue. We got Dragoons at 3. We got a Lapis Dragon. We got Poseidra. We got triple Megalo. We got triple Abysteus. We got the Moulin Glacia. We got triple Overtake to do Diva searching. We got 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designate, triple Evenly Matched to go second. In the extra deck, we got Tatsunoko. We got Deep Sea Repeteur. We got Ariane Post, Deep Sea Prima Donna. We got the White Aura Whale, the Azcan, the Ravenous Croco Dragon, Baron. We got Supreme Sovereign. We got Go to the Deep Beyond. We got Psychic End Punisher. We got Mermail Abyss Joust. We got the Mind Hacker. And we got Bisslacia. Hope you liked today's video. Hope to see you next time. Have a good night.